Hey everyone, it's Matt, aka Tech Ranger, and today we're going to be taking a look at a different game, Starship Troopers Extermination. It's a co-op game for the Xbox. It's kind of like Helldivers in the sense that you join up with a few other teammates. You are basically fighting bugs, and it's just like the movie Starship Troopers, if you're familiar with that, but just in a video game. And you can do stuff like this. I really enjoy the Starship Troopers movie itself, and it's also based off of a book. So to finally have a modern video game that's actually based on the property is awesome. The developers actually reached out to me and gave me a code for this game, but all the opinions in this impressions video are my own. So with that out of the way, let's take a look at Starship Troopers Extermination for the Xbox.
Would you like to know more? Everyone's doing their part. Are you?
Starship Troopers Extermination is a co-op shooter that you can join up with your buddies. It's developed by Offworld Industries. There's two main modes of the game. There's a solo play tutorial if you really want to learn the game mechanics themselves. However, the build-in tutorial is just for those main missions, which that is going to be when you're in a squad with 3 other people, and then there's like a lot of people with you on a team. The solo play tutorial is a lot more basic, and you're basically going through caverns and things like that, shooting some bugs, learning the game mechanics, but that's pretty much it. The Guardian class is probably my favorite, but there are different classes that have different perks, and then you'll be able to get different weapons depending on which class you actually pick. This can get difficult to see what other people are running as well, so playing in a group, I think the class system works really well. However, for me, I like to just play a Guardian, that way you can put shields down in front of you and just shoot and have really good accuracy. The first assault rifle that you get, it's really good in that you can shoot for a long period of time before you gotta reload, but man, that thing shoots all over the place. And for weapons like these, this is probably intentional because you do want to rank up and get better weapons, but there's only one setting to change as far as sensitivity goes at the moment on console. I think this kind of limits your character in that, especially if you're familiar with a game like Call of Duty, that's just a much smoother first-person shooter experience. This is not it. However, you can tweak it enough to actually get it to where you need to be. Serviceable at the moment, but I'd imagine there might be some more tweaks coming in the future as far as controls go. As far as your graphics options, I would click performance, that way you have up to 60 FPS during the game. There's a lot of options in general here, just not a lot for controls, which I think there needs to be. But there is crossplay, so you can play with your buddies. The solo play tutorial is not like the best introduction to the game in terms of like how fun it's going to be. You do kind of get your feet wet in shooting some bugs and learning about the different types of bugs that can attack you. The mode is very basic and it's meant to be a tutorial and just that. However, if you just play that, you would come away with a really different opinion of the game and not really know how it actually plays. I say that because I started that way and I was like, wow, this is cool, but not exactly what I was expecting. That changes when you get to the main missions, because those are really cool. Everything in terms of the sound, the explosions, the bugs themselves, the game is faithful to the source material, the movie itself, Starship Troopers, and the book that was based on in the 50s. It would have been cool to actually have a main campaign to go through with some of the characters from Starship Troopers, but we do have Johnny Rico himself, reprising his role from the films, Casper Van Dien, actually giving us little bits of wisdom like this.
Don't like crawling up Archie's ass sniffing for gas? Then take it out on those bugs, trooper.
So we know what the game is, we know the modes that are in the game, now we get to the real meat and potatoes, it's those main missions. This is set up very similar to like a Helldivers in that you're basically fighting and killing bugs on different planets and doing different objectives, and then the more you do that, you unlock little story bits and eventually new areas in the game that you can go and play in. This, along with the roadmap that they actually posted on the website, shows you what kind of content's going to come to the game, but then also what they're working on, which is pretty nice. So unlike that solo play tutorial that was kind of like a mini campaign, you can actually unlock different abilities and weapons and things in the main missions of the game when you're playing co-op. You couldn't do that in the solo play. Overall, I found these missions the most fun because you're in a squad, but then you're also with like a bunch of other people, so it can make things pretty interesting, especially when there's a few different mission types that you can choose from, as well as the different planets. It kind of changes things up. Sometimes you're building a base, sometimes you're just on a bug hunt, for example. I will say the hard difficulty is no joke, especially when you have some special cases like this with Arachnid Fury, Tiger Ambush, makes things pretty difficult. But like I mentioned earlier in the video, the Guardian class, when you're defending a base, for example, means that you get better accuracy so you can keep those bugs from getting too close. You can create your own operation, but you need to be in a company. You can join a list of companies, which is just comprised of other people that are playing the game, or you can create your own. When you join a company, you get this company intel, which is that currency that you saw when you were creating a match. This also contributes to the galactic front. Since you are matching with other people, those times can actually change. It can be anywhere from like a minute to 2 minutes, all depending on who's actually playing the game. I did run into one bug, no pun intended, that I actually got stuck in the down state and I wasn't able to respawn. Unfortunately, I had to totally quit out of the game in order to get back into it, so that was unfortunate, but I'd imagine stuff like that will probably get patched out over time. Overall, I really enjoyed my time with this mode, and as I kind of learn more about the mechanics and the different classes, I'll probably get better at it and get a lot more enjoyment out of it. Whenever there's building involved, usually my teammates are always the ones that are first to build, which is fine. I just don't really learn it that way. With that said, the community in this game seems really good so far. Everyone I've talked to has been super nice and helpful and just here to, well, shoot bugs. So I realized as I was editing this video that I actually did have a lot to say about this game, and I didn't want it to run too long, so I'm going to end it here. Let me know in the comments down below if you guys have played Starship Troopers Extermination, or if you plan on picking it up in the near future. The game is not a full price game, so the barrier of entry is a little bit lower. However, if you're not really fond of a first person shooter that doesn't control the best, or you're not really into the co-op aspect of it, it might not be for you. If you guys have any questions about anything, let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in the Federation.
Young people from all over the globe are joining up to fight for the future.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part too.